Oh, I'm very confident that fair trade is going to go on growing. And of course, in a movement that is trying to do something as difficult as putting justice in trade, as tackling poverty, as empowering small farmers and workers, of course it's not going to be easy. Along the way, there will always be so many problems. But what we must remember is, even in the middle of the recession in Europe, we've seen fair trade growing last year by over 12%. That's phenomenal. And that tells you that the public care about making sure farmers and workers get a better deal. And that's enabled us to reach over 1.2 million farmers and workers across 60 countries, that they are earning tens of thousands and in some cases millions in premium with which the farmers can walk high in their communities because they're building the schools and putting in clean drinking water. So I think we have a very solid base on which we can go on making progress with fair trade. And the producers are organised in their continents, in Africa, Asia and Latin America, and they own half of fair trade labelling. And half is owned by organisations like Max Havelaar France, who are working to grow the movement with the public here. And that means we can put the needs of farmers and workers front and centre of everything we do. And uniquely in the world, we are the only certification label now that is half owned by the farmers and workers themselves. And that's a symbol, if you like, of the empowerment that is at the heart of fair trade. As one banana farmer said to me once, I used to just be somebody who loaded a box onto a train. That was the beginning and the end of my responsibility. In this new system, I'm an international businessman. And that's the kind of change that fair trade seeks to engender, right starting from our own governance through to the farmers and workers in the fields. We have to make sure that more people know about fair trade, and that people who know about it and say they love it, they support it, they trust the fair trade mark, that they're also then able, when they go shopping, to buy fair trade and put the tea and the coffee, the bananas and the juice with the fair trade mark on it in their basket. I think it is very disappointing to see what's been happening in France, and that's why it's so important to think about what would it take for the French public to be able to play their part fully again. And I think the research shows that the public have very strong support for fair trade. They recognise the mark, they trust it, they do support the idea of fair trade. And so what we have to do is really encourage companies and retailers to offer more products. Because if I'm in my town in France and I might support fair trade, but if I can't find it on the shop, well, what can I do? I can't show how I support it. And so I would say to French retailers and French brands, here is a fantastic opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to do the right thing by farmers and workers and help tackle poverty overseas, and to do the right thing by your public. I know in business circles they always say the customer is always right. Well, if the customer's right, if the customer says they want fair trade, I think that's an opportunity for businesses to step up to their responsibilities and offer them more fair trade coffee or bananas or tea or orange juice or rice, because that's clearly what the public want. And I think therefore it's up to all of us as members of the public to go knocking on the door of companies and say to them, we want fair trade, and if you give it to us, we'll buy it. And you can see the success of fair trade in some other countries shows what's possible. So just nearby in Switzerland, half of all the bananas are fair trade, and half of all the flowers are fair trade. If you go to Britain, 40% of all the sugar sold in Britain in shops is fair trade. And I hope that very soon we'll see a reawakening and people will get back behind the fair trade mark here in France too. And you know, I'm really confident it's going to happen, because actually we all respect the French public so much. And I'm sure if the French public put their weight behind it, then the companies will absolutely respond. Well, I think buying local and being fair to your local farmer, buying organic, buying fair trade, I think it's all part of the same movement to put fairness back in our food. And it's two sides of the same coin, as we would say, is to be fair to your local French farmer, but also, let's be fair, to the farmer who grows the cocoa or the sugar on the other side of the world, who actually sometimes have to choose whether they send their children to school or they put food on the table at night. And so I think we have a lot of work to do over the future, but actually it's very exciting when you see what we've achieved already and when you see the potential and the hunger among the farmers to take fair trade to the next level.